Hello, welcome to Lord Havoc's Marvel Champions custom content stream extravaganza. I'm actually not streaming this video. This video is purely for YouTube. I have a request from me to do a video on how to play custom content on TTS. I originally did a video about how to use TTS to play Marvel Champions, well, the very basics of them. And then someone, a viewer, followed up with the request of, I want to play custom content on TTS. How do I go about it? So I thought I'd whip one together. This disclaimer: this is by no means an expert look at it. This is what I learnt fumbling around, looking at various blog posts and stuff like that. It's by no means definitive. There's just a couple of ideas of how to get it. So you want to play custom content on TTS. I recommend it. It's the easiest way to do it because printing them out would be extremely costly, at least for me. I mean, if you can afford to print them out, then by all means go for it. It's the tactile feeling of being able to play with them in reality is superior to TTS in my opinion. If I could afford to do it, I would do it. But if you can't, if you're like me and you'd prefer to play it on TTS for whatever reason, not necessarily more that you can't afford it, but just more because you just want to be able to keep up to date. Quite often these things get updated. The initial creation is made, and then it gets updated at some point because it goes through the seal process, or somebody gives them the creator some advice, or whatever the case may be. So quite often you'll find multiple versions. Having to print them out again would be pretty bad. So playing them on TTS is a good way of being able to play custom content. It's also the best way, in my opinion, to test things. If you're a creator and you've made a custom hero or a custom scenario, then using TTS to playtest with them, and then tweak as you playtest, because no playtest, I refuse to believe any playtest has been perfect straight off the bat. Like there's always something you can tweak. So then that obviously is a much more cost-effective way of doing it. Now, to get your custom content onto TTS, you've got multiple options. I recommend starting off with Hitch's mod, the go-to place if you're using TTS. Hitch's mod is the way you start, in my opinion. And then you've got multiple options within TTS itself on how to actually get this stuff onto the board. Now, the easiest way is to subscribe to the creator. So what a creator is that you want to get their content from, you subscribe to them. Now you do that via Steam. You go into Steam Workshop, and then search for the mod that you want to have a look for. If you're just starting off, I recommend just putting Marvel Champions Custom, maybe. There you go. There's a whole heap from there. Marvel Champions Custom there, and then you'll get a whole bunch of creators there of and their content. Odysseus is the person who created the homebrew Discord channel. There's EK August, Rainy. We're going to be looking at another Rainy thing in a second. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. Right? A whole bunch of people on here and all their creators. So you subscribe to those. You'll see that I've got a little grey tick next to there. It just says that I'm subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, it would be a little green square, little green cross. I can't think of anybody who I'm not subscribed to. I don't necessarily subscribe to individual creations. I normally go for the actual creator themselves. So I can't think of anyone I'm not actually subscribed to already. So I can't show you, but Well, but here's an idea of what it looks like. It's this little, that's a little green square with the cross inside of who you're not. So yeah, so I recommend subscribing to as many of these as you can. There's the DC one. If you're a big DC fan, there's obviously the DC one there for you by Embedded Soul there, ES as he's known on the stream. Design Hacker, of course, like they're all got their stuff on there. I also have my own one. So I've got my own one there as well, which I am, of course, subscribed to. So they're all there. So once you've subscribed, you then jump into TTS itself, and you'll find them in your games section. So Games Workshop is where you have all the games that you've subscribed to. And then you go into the one that you want. Now you could bring up the entire board, and it would have that custom content there as well. Right, so you can have, if you click on the actual mod itself, it'll open up the whole mod, and you can just grab something from there that you want. Now you can, that is actually the long way, right? So you could technically go into DC Champions here, and it says, do you want to load it? Sure enough, there it is. It's loaded. And then you've got all the content, right? So you could grab a hero if you wanted. And grab somebody. Right? Let's grab Mary. Now you can actually right click and copy and go back into the mod that you want to play it on. If you wanted to go back to Hitch, you could copy it from here and then go back into Hitch and then paste, and then it would appear. You could also, while you're in here, save this object. So if I click on Save Object, it asks me where I want to put it, and it's now in my Saved Objects file. So Objects, Saved Objects, here she is here. Which means I can then use it in whatever mod I'm in. Now there is an alternative. We can go back to the Hitch mod that I was on. Cool, so we're back here again. Go back to Objects, Saved Objects, and then to use it, I just drag her into this table. So now that I'm here, I can then just use her as I want. Right, so she's forever saved in your saved objects. Now it's important to note that you do have a limit. There is a limit in TTS on Steam of 9,998 files. It says less than that. No, it actually says more than that, but it actually is less than that. So it's 9998. How many files you can actually have saved to the Steam cloud. So TTS uses your Steam cloud, a special section of your Steam cloud. That's as far as it's willing to go. It doesn't seem to have a limit on size that I can tell. It probably does, but I don't know what it is. But it does have a limit on objects. Okay, so keep that in mind. See, there's that. I can go into the previous mod, copy, and then bring it across and paste it into here. So I could actually paste it into here as well, because I'd already copied it into there, so I paste it. And you could also you save it to your saved objects and pull it in here. Cool. And then you're good to go. Now the alternative, the third option is go to the mod again. Sorry, is to go to the mod, but this time don't open the entire mod. You can actually drag things from the mod to your mod without having to go outside of your mod. Right. So say for example I want to go back to, let's go to EK. Right. So we'll go to EK, click on this 3-dot option here, and we go search. And this is showing me everything that's in EK August's mod. So I have access to everything that I have there. As long as it exists there as an object, I can go grab it. So let's grab Jessica. So it hasn't taken it out of his mod, it's just created a copy. And now I have Jessica in my play area, ready to go. And again, while she's here, I could then save it to objects, save it to my objects, and so on and so forth. But you don't really need to. That's the beauty of it, right? You don't need to have a lot of things saved in your saved objects folder, because you can always just go grab them from their previous mod anyway. And that's always the better option, in my opinion, because that means you're getting the most up-to-date version of it. So even if they have made some tweaks, you'll get the most up-to-date version. So ES, for example, recently tweaked his Nightwing. Now, if I had a saved copy of Nightwing from months ago, I wouldn't have the most up-to-date version with the tweaks. So I might as well not have it saved, because I can always just go get it anyway from the DC tab. Cool. So that's bringing in previously already created things. Now, what if you want to have your own stuff on here? You've made your own hero, you've made your own scenario, and you want to play test it in here on TTS. Okay. Now, there's a couple of options you can use here. Now, there's one I personally am not a fan of, but I'm going to show you anyway, because you might like it. And the reason I'm not a fan of it is I just don't really know how to use it properly. I know the basics, but I'm sure there's more advanced people that know cooler tricks about it. Anyway, so to do the first option, TTS actually has its own built-in card creator. So to get to the card creator, you go to here. So here's the address here. Let's keep a look at that. So it'll be a folder will be wherever you installed Steam. So Steam apps, common, tabletop simulator, modding, deck builder. Okay. So I'll just keep that up on the screen for a second, just so you can see it. So it's Steam. So program files, Steam apps, common, tabletop simulator, modding, deck builder. Inside there is a folder, an application called TTS Deck Editor. Double click on that and it'll open up this app. When you get into this app, create new deck. The width is the amount of cards across, and the height is the amount of cards up. You don't need more than, if you're going to do a hero, you don't need more than 20, because a hero's identity deck is not more than 20. So you just say how many it is that you want, and then you add the cards to it. Say I want to grab Wolverine 1610. Cool. Wolverine 1610 is the hero that I created, and I want to upload them. Now, I don't recommend you use this for the hero card. The hero card is double-sided. This is more for the identity deck, which is the same card, which is different cards on top, but always the same card on bottom. So I just grab all of these, add them to here. I've got a couple left over, that's fine. It's all good. Just leave those there. Now you also need to add the back. Now, I don't know why. I honestly don't know why it tells you to do this. It will ask you for the back again inside TTS, but it'll ask you for the back. Now the back and all those, if you're creating your own cards, you can get the templates to create the cards and the templates for the card backs and things like that on the Homebrew Discord. Has links to all those products. You can also find the card backs on the web and stuff like that. Cool. So there's this, and then you save the deck. I've already got it there as Wolverine. And then the important part is to export it, because you're actually going to use an image. So you want to export the image. Don't change any of these settings here, just leave it as is. Click export. And then just make sure you save the image there. Cool. And then once you've finished with that, go back into TTS, go to Objects, Components, Cards, Custom Deck. Right click on it and then select the face, and the face is the image you just exported. Cool, so it saves it there for you. And then it asks you to put in a back. Again, I don't know why it wants the back again since you've already got the back. But it is what it is. Grab the back. Cool. And then it asks you for their width and height and number. Now, the number is going to be 16 because remember it's the cards. Actually, I'm going to say 17 because it's the cards in the deck. No, actually, I'm going to say 16. It's the cards in the deck, right? How many cards are actually in the deck? Don't worry about whatever the blank ones were because you don't need them to create them as cards. And then the height and width that you chose when you created the actual image. So when you very first opened up the TTS deck editor, the height and weight that you chose, which I've got there. So then you click import. Cool. And then it would load, depending on how fast your internet, it'll load for you, but then it creates the deck for you. So here's the actual cards. Cool. And they all have the back that you selected. So here is a perfectly good hero deck to use. Now the reason I don't like doing it that way, I mean it is faster, but there's a couple of things. One, I'm just not very good at using the deck editor. The first couple of times I tried to use it, I just got errors, and it just wasn't very user-friendly. I just don't think it's very user-friendly. And also, when you do it this way, it creates the card without a customization option. Any other card that you grab, that you create, if you created the second way I'm going to show you, will have a custom thing so you can make changes to them. These ones are set in stone. It's just it's enhanced sensors whether you like it or not. It's always going to be that way. So there's definitely pros and cons. If there's a tutorial online somewhere about how to use the deck editor a lot easier, and you're going to be making a whole bunch of decks, then by all means use that. Use it this that way. It's definitely a lot faster for sure. Like I said though, not a huge fan. It also is not the best way to create the hero card. Now the way I prefer to do it is this way. Now I actually have a set of I've got a bag in my saved objects which has a bunch of cards in there to represent the various cards that you get with heroes and villain scenarios, right? So if you're doing a villain scenario, you've got the villain himself, and there's his purple back, the main scheme, front and back, the encounter deck, the yellow encounter deck, and any side schemes that are in the encounter deck. They actually look slightly different. Cool. So there's those. And then you've got the heroes. So here's the hero card, the double-sided hero card. That's the top, that's the bottom. That becomes important in terms of stacking. And just the example of a hero card. Now notice the difference here. When I click on it, it says custom. And these ones don't. So these are locked in stone. These are not. I can change them. Now ignore what's actually on the front of them at the moment. These are just the examples I use for whenever I want to create custom stuff. So we're going to do it. We've actually got, well, first things first is we've actually got a deck here for Wolverine 1610 by Design Hacker. There you go, funnily enough. But he doesn't have his hero card. I didn't use the deck builder to do his hero card. So let's do it. So what I do is I keep these as the master ones. Whenever I want to use one, I just make a copy and then I use it for whatever I want to use it for. So in this case, we're going to turn this card into Wolverine 1610. So I click on Custom, and it asks me what the face and what the back is. And the face is always the hero, the back is always the alter ego. So let's go find Wolverine 1610. There's the hero card. Upload it there. Awesome. Let's grab his alter ego card. I don't know why it's saying errors down the bottom there, because there's no errors. And then import. And there you go. There's Wolverine 1610. Hero, alter ego. Done. Now I can change that anytime I want to any other card. And I've still got my default cards up here. Cool. And then the same thing for the actual identity cards. It's a lot slower doing it this way. But I think it's better because it gives you a little bit more control. This is starting to annoy me, this error thing down here. There's no error. I don't know why it keeps telling me there's an error. That's weird. Not too sure what the problem is. Anyway, so there's the front one, and then the back one, you just go and grab the back card, the back of the card. And what I do is, if I'm doing a hero, I upload one copy of the back card and then highlight the field, and you notice that it highlights the whole thing for you, and then just do Control-C. So there's the Colossus card. And if I want to go do the other one, I don't have to grab the card back anymore. I can just go straight back to Wolverine. Grab whatever the next card is. Upload that one. And then just click in here and paste the back. So there's Berserker Barrage. And it's got the proper back. Cool. And then so on and so forth. So go back. Grab the next Wolverine card. A second copy of Berserker Barrage. Again, click in here. Boom. And it is definitely the next one in sequence. 1, 2, 3. It's got the proper thing. And then so on and so forth until you've made them all. Cool. Now say you want to create a villain scenario. So we are going to do one. I've actually just made one just recently. So we're going to do that one. So I'm going to make 6 copies of this one. Oh, I didn't want more Wolverines. Now you may be thinking, Dave, there's only 3, but this scenario that I've made actually has 6. So I'm going to grab those, get rid of that, put that one away. It only has 1 main scheme, so I just need one of these. Put that away. It has about 37 treachery cards. There you go. Here are that. Oh, some of these are side schemes, so I don't need some of these. A couple of them are side schemes. And then get rid of that. So, for the main deck, it probably would be faster and smarter to use the alternative method, the deck builder game, the deck builder executable. But then again, I wouldn't be able to tweak them if I did. And because this is going to be play tested, it is going to have tweaks, right? There will be mistakes that I will have to go fix. So it makes sense to do it that way. To do it this way, again, it's longer, but I think smarter. It works out best in the end. So then I'm just going to grab the stuff that I get. So I'm just going to make my own custom villain Infinite Crisis. Grab the villain. First one's Alex. Let upload, then go grab the villain back, which is that one. Copy that so I can use it again on the next one. And let's go grab the other one. Copy and then just paste in the back, and then villains go on and so on and so forth, right? The main scheme, it's the same sort of deal. The main scheme has two separate sides. So you grab the top one is side 1A, put it in the cloud. The bottom is side 1B. There it is. Ready to go. Infinite Crisis. The encounter cards are done the same way as the villains are, so you don't need to see me do that. The side schemes are encounter cards as well, but they're in the encounter deck. You need to make sure that the image is flipped into the way that you want it to flip. So it needs to be the same orientation as the other cards. So you grab the front image. And then its back is the normal encounter back. Cool. So there's Brother Eye. And that's so that when it gets put into here, it right sides up like that. It goes up the right, so the TTS mod will the Heater mod will put it into the right side up. Infinite Crisis there, the villain there, that sort of stuff. Cool. That is pretty much it, I think. I think I've covered everything. So if you don't already have the cards there ready for you, you can just create them from within TTS itself. So that's how I do it. Once you've done the first, I recommend once you've made your first one, you do it that way, where you've got spare blank cards that you can then just use over and over and over again, so you don't have to keep creating them. The very first time you do it, though, you would do it this way. So you go up to Objects, Components, Cards, Custom Card, create the custom card in Reality, TTS, right click, and then it's basically the same thing. You go grab the face. Actually, I might as well grab the back one here. Then go grab the face. Oops. By Prime. And then import it. Notice it's a different size because it just always puts everything into mini. Take advantage of the PIM Technologies resizer. Put it to the size that you want. See, it's more the size that TTS the mod uses. But there you have it, another card just made from scratch. It's got the custom thing. You can set a whole bunch of rules to it and stuff, but I think the rules that it comes with, I mean, you can change the thickness and the physics, how it actually reacts in real world and what material it is. I recommend you just leave these exactly as they are. I wouldn't touch any of them if I was you, but feel free to do it if you want it to be a little bit heavier, and that's up, you know, how it sort of reacts, but I think it's pretty close as is already. So because I've got him out, I don't need to worry about... Have I dropped a card? Oh, it's over here. I don't need to worry about this guy anymore because I've already made him. Cool. So I'll do it again, just one more, just to show you. Objects, components, cards, custom card, right click, go grab the image that you want, upload it to your cloud, and then grab your back, fill in. So like I said, slower, there's more clips involved, but I think smarter in the end. Like it gives you a little bit more control. Final thing, when you're creating your custom cards, if you have a card that can be searched for in your deck, I highly recommend that you give it a name. So if you right click on the card, down the bottom there you'll see the name there. It just helps a lot, because then when you hover over it, it now has a name. Instead of just being blank, it actually has a name. And when you do a search in a stack, if you search for it, you'll notice that they all just have blank numbers, whereas he actually has a name, which means you can actually search for it. Which makes it a lot easier for all involved. Cool. All right. Please refer to my previous video on how to actually use TTS to play with once you've actually made your awesome creations. Once you've given life to your creations in TTS, that's when you then can actually start playing with it and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh no, one more thing. You would have seen that I've got a bag here. Once you've made your fancy creation, so let's grab Wolvie here for example. Once you've made your creation, you can go into objects and go into components, go to miscellaneous? No. Tools? That's where it is. Tools, and then grab a bag. Don't grab an infinite bag. An infinite bag is if you, once you've used an infinite bag and you put something inside of it, you just get that same thing over and over again. So you get an infinite number of Wolverine hero cards. Okay, so that's what you use for things like tokens. Notice how the tokens are in an infinite bag. Just a normal bag is what you actually put your hero in there. And then recommend that you name the hero bag. So Wolverine 1610 by Design Hacker. Cool. And then once you've got it, remember to save it, otherwise it's gone forever. So you right click, save object. So it actually now is in your actual object zone, because if I leave this mod, everything I've done is lost. So now it's there. And now I can delete this because I've actually saved it. So it's gone. Oh, doesn't want to go into the trash. Cool. All right. So what have we covered? Creating the cards themselves, saving them in a bag. Yeah, that's about it really. Everything else is kind of a little bit more advanced. But like I said, once you've created your awesome, put your awesome creation into the real world here in TTS, and given it a bit of a play test and stuff, it'll be a whole new world to you. So So remember what I said. If the object already exists, if you already have a favorite creator that you want to go check out, subscribe to their mod. Go to their mod from within the Hitches table, right? And then click on search and just grab whatever it is you want from them. All right, so Zod Unleashed, for example, drag and drop, and there you've got Zod Unleashed in your mod, ready to go. If you create your own things, create your own creations, put your own creations in there. Once you've actually created them here, save them in the bag, save them. Click on right click and save objects so they actually do exist in your saved object. So then you're there forever. If I ever do a part 3, it will talk about things like nameplates, like health point plates, and creating your own mod. So I might come back to it for that. Like actually create your own mod, like I did for my stuff, and then how to update that once you make changes to it and publish it to Steam and things like that. But this, at the very least, will get you started on how to create your own, to get your own awesome creations on here, and then go for it. Cool. To actually get the files, if you're actually grabbing files from somewhere else, if it's not stuff that you created yourself and is not on your computer, if you're grabbing files from somebody's Google Drive and stuff, you just join the Homebrew Discord, check out their Google Drives. There's a whole heap of stuff on there. Download them to computer and then just go from there, create them from there. Anyway, I hope that's been of help. It wasn't scripted. If you didn't notice, it wasn't scripted. But anyway, I hope that's been of help to you. If you do end up putting your own creations on here and playing around with them, let me know. Drop me a line on the Homebrew Discord if you're on there. If not, let me know on the YouTube in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If this has been of any help for you, that's awesome. If you've got any questions, hit me up in the comments. Just feel free to ask me out. If I can help you out, I will. Remember, I'm by no means an expert. But if you've got a question and I can help you, I will be more than happy to give it a go. And if you've got requests for any other of these sort of types of videos, please hit me up. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Thanks for watching.